The plan was straightforward. I was scheduled to be in Denver for a 3-day business conference. Lately, my company had been urging us to build more direct relationships with clients, so I booked a flight, packed a suit, and gave Naomi a kiss on the forehead before heading out. I even cracked a weak joke about not setting the place on fire while I was gone. Mid-flight, the conference got canceled because of a storm system moving in. By the time I landed, the whole trip felt pointless. Rather than waste time in a hotel, I figured I'd head home early, maybe catch Naomi off guard, bring some takeout, and carve out a little time together. Things had been distant between us for months, and I thought surprising her might help us reconnect. I didn't bother texting her. I thought it'd be more fun to just show up. It was around 6:45 p.m. when I pulled into our driveway. Naomi's car was parked there, along with a sleek black Range Rover I didn't recognize. I assumed it might belong to her friend Tara. She had something similar, with the Thai food I grabbed on the way. I entered through the side door. That's when I heard her voice. "No, he has no idea," Naomi said, followed by a laugh. "Larry still thinks I'm just working late every Tuesday and Thursday. Poor guy, so gullible." Then came a pause, and I heard the sound of ice clinking in a glass. "If Damon didn't have a girlfriend, I'd leave Larry tomorrow," she went on. "But you know how guys are. They talk about leaving but never do." Another voice, definitely Tara, let out a loud laugh. "Girl, you're savage." "No, I'm just being real," Naomi replied. "Larry's a good man, but he's safe. Damon makes me feel alive." I didn't move. I just stood there, motionless in the mudroom, the weight of the food bag in my hand suddenly meaningless. I heard more of their conversation, but the words blurred. I turned around, quietly stepped back outside, and shut the door without making a sound. I drove until I ended up at a gas station a few towns over. I sat there in the car with the engine off, staring at nothing. I wasn't angry. I wasn't heartbroken. Something inside just shifted. By 9 p.m., I found myself at Kenneth's place. He answered the door holding a beer, his face confused. "I thought you were in Denver?" "Conference got canceled," I said, walking right past him to his couch. My hands were trembling, but my voice was even. When he sat down across from me, I just said it. "Naomi's cheating." His face froze. "With who?" "Some guy named Damon." I said. She said his name a few times, like it was normal. I told him everything. Every word I'd overheard, even the way she'd said I was safe, like that was something pitiful. Kenneth was quiet for a moment, then leaned back and gave a long, low whistle. "Jesus, what now?" "Nothing," I said. "You're serious?" "Dead serious. No fighting. No drama. Not yet. I need to know how deep this goes." He looked like he wanted to argue, but didn't. Instead, he nodded slowly and popped open another beer. While he drank, I was already making mental notes, strategies, next steps. I wasn't going to blow up and make it easy for her to twist things. I needed a clear plan. If I lost it now, she could spin it, cry lie, even flip the blame. But if I stayed patient, if I gathered everything quietly, I'd be the one in control when the time came. So I stayed with Kenneth for a few days. Naomi thought I was still in Denver. No need to shatter that illusion just yet. While she carried on as usual, I was deep diving into everything. Credit card transactions, text backups, account histories. I didn't want guesses. I wanted facts. She'd said Tuesdays and Thursdays. That wasn't a affair. That was a routine, a schedule, a second life, and it had probably been going on for much longer than I ever suspected. Kenneth gave me a beer, but I barely touched it. At one point, he asked, "Are you all right?" I wasn't, not even close. But I would be. That night, I lay on his couch, staring at the ceiling fan spinning slow, methodical circles. My thoughts were racing ahead. I wasn't planning revenge. I was planning a clean ending, one that wouldn't leave her with the upper hand. By Monday, I was back home. I acted like nothing had changed. Naomi looked a little surprised when I walked through the door. She gave me a tired smile. "You're back early." "Yeah," I said, tossing my bag down. "Flight delays. Messy weather." She kissed my cheek, made a joke about airport food, and went right back to scrolling on her phone. That night, after she got into the shower, I started snooping. I began in the closet. Nothing odd, just her usual clutter. Then I checked her vanity drawers. Third drawer down, under a pile of makeup bags and old travel junk, I found it, a second phone. It was cleverly hidden in a zippered case beneath some cotton pads. Locked, of course, 4-digit code. I tried her birthday. No luck. Then I remembered the 4-digit combo she used for everything. The garage, our old Netflix pin, the last 4 of her previous phone number. It worked. The phone unlocked. And there it all was. Texts, pictures, videos, names of hotels, gym locations, restaurant receipts. Piece by piece, the puzzle started to come together. Damon was her personal trainer. They'd met at her gym and started hooking up after she began those evening strength classes last fall. The timeline stretched back longer than I expected. One message thread from 2 weeks ago hit me square in the gut. He made lasagna again. Thinks it's my favorite. I don't even like it anymore. Naomi had texted. "That's cold," Damon replied. "When you leaving him?" "Soon. Just want to make sure I get the house in my name first." The house. Our house. Over the next few days, I went completely off the radar. Every free moment I had, I investigated. I pulled all our joint statements, found charges for a boutique hotel 20 minutes away, once a month on Thursdays, dating back over a year. I saved everything, made copies, loaded it all onto a USB drive with dates and labels. With Kenneth's help, I opened a new bank account in my name and started moving half of our money into it, slowly and carefully. Then I met with a lawyer, Clarissa. She wasn't surprised. In fact, she'd seen this exact situation play out dozens of times. She didn't flinch when I told her everything. Her advice? Keep quiet. Don't confront Naomi yet. The more I pretended to be in the dark, the stronger my position would be when it mattered. I told Clarissa I wanted the cleanest, most solid escape plan possible. She laid it out for me step by step, silent, efficient, with no warning. Naomi, meanwhile, suddenly became affectionate. She cooked dinner, snuggled on the couch, even suggested a vacation. Just the 2 of us. Maybe Puerto Rico. I smiled, nodded, told her it sounded perfect. All the while, I was setting the stage for the exit. Every move I made had to look casual, unsuspicious. Naomi believed we were getting close again. I let her believe that. She had no idea what was coming. She wanted to live in her fantasy, and I let her. On the outside, I played the part of the husband trying to reignite the spark. But underneath that smile, I was carefully preparing my exit. I found a storage unit on the outskirts of town, rented it under a fake name, and slowly began moving over my valuables. My father's old tools, the watch he passed down to me, cherished photo albums, even a few pieces of furniture. When Naomi noticed something missing and asked where it was, I told her I moved it to the garage while tidying up. Most of the time, she didn't even notice. Then, by chance, I found out about Damon's girlfriend. Her name was Alicia. She worked at a small flower shop just 10 minutes from my office. I wouldn't have known she existed if Damon hadn't posted a picture with her on Instagram, tagging her in some corny picnic shot with a caption. That made me sick. I stopped by her shop one slow Tuesday. "Hi, you don't know me," I said gently, "but I think you need to see something." I handed her an envelope. Inside were pictures of Naomi and Damon together at a hotel lobby and screenshot of messages that made the whole affair clear. Alicia stared at the contents. Her face went blank. "I'm sorry," I said. "I just thought you should hear it from someone without an agenda." She nodded, didn't shed a tear, just asked how long it had been going on. "Over a year, that I can confirm." She looked at the photos again, took a breath, and quietly said, "Thank you," before walking back into the store. Naomi, meanwhile, was pouring her energy into planning her birthday party. A big event every year. Her parents, friends, clients, all invited. Usually held at a rented venue. But this time she wanted it at home, on our newly redone rooftop deck. She'd made the rooftop her personal passion project. Teakwood floors, modern glass railings, string lights overhead, and custom outdoor furniture. She called it her slice of Santorini. The party was her big moment to show it off. "Maybe this year will be different," she said one night while flipping through a flower catalog. "Maybe next year we'll have a little one crawling around." I smiled, raised my wine glass, and played along. She didn't know that the divorce papers were already signed and hidden in my desk drawer. The day of her party came, a perfect Saturday, sunny with temperatures in the 70s. She had transformed the rooftop into something out of a magazine. Elegant decor, white linens, candles, fresh flowers, and bartenders dressed in black aprons. I played my role well. Clean shirt, polite nods, mingling with her father, pouring drinks. I looked every bit the loving husband helping throw the perfect celebration. By 1:15 p.m., Naomi was on a rooftop in full glam, posing by the flower wall she'd spent days assembling. I slipped away downstairs into my office and sent 5 emails. Each email included the same evidence: photos, text messages, and receipts. One went to her parents, one to Alicia, one to her business partner, one to her best friend Tara, and the last one to Damon's gym manager. The subject line on all of them: "If you think you know Naomi, you might want to take another look." I returned to the party just as phones began to buzz. People started checking their screens, glancing around, whispering. Naomi didn't notice. She was still playing host, beaming for photos. Then Alicia arrived, and not long after, Damon showed up, bottle of champagne in hand, grinning like an idiot. He barely stepped onto the deck when Alicia confronted him. Her voice was calm but loud enough to silence every conversation. "Why don't you tell everyone how long you've been sleeping with a married woman?" The mood dropped instantly. Naomi froze. Damon looked stunned, and I sent Naomi a text. "Everything you're about to lose is on the kitchen counter. Happy birthday." I walked downstairs, left the divorce papers neatly placed on the kitchen island, picked up my bag, and walked out the front door. That night, I crashed at Kenneth's. We ordered wings and watched the game in near silence. I didn't need words. I just needed a quiet that didn't lie to me. The next morning, Tara texted me. "Bro, what did you do?" She's a wreck. Apparently, Alicia's call-out had done more damage than I anticipated. She didn't just expose Damon. She blew the whole event to pieces. Naomi cried. Damon left without a word. Clients stopped taking her calls. Her father walked out in silence. She never saw it coming. That night, Naomi tried to call me 12 times. Her voicemail started with anger and ended in desperation. The next morning, she showed up at Kenneth's. He opened the door, looked her dead in the eyes, and said, "Not here," before closing again. In the following weeks, her polished facade began to crumble. I had her locked out of our accounts. My lawyer froze movement on the house. Legally, she had no claim to it. Eventually, she moved into a short-term rental. The word spread quickly. Clients bailed. Her reputation took a hit. Even her Instagram followers started vanishing. Mutual friends backed off. People suddenly remembered how fake she could be. As for Damon, he ghosted her, blocked her number, probably trying to salvage things with Alicia. Either way, he disappeared. Naomi texted again. "Please, I messed up. I didn't mean to lose everything. I didn't think you'd actually leave." But that's the part she never understood. I was never safe. I was patient. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. I sold the house. Too many memories in those walls. Some good, most bad. I didn't want to carry any of it forward. I moved into a modest condo. 2 bedrooms, a lake view, a front door only I had the key to. The silence didn't haunt me anymore. It felt earned. I hadn't kept tabs on Naomi, but word still trickled in through Kenneth and others. She was quiet now. No more fake posts or smiling selfies. Just silence. Then one Saturday afternoon, I saw her at Lowe's. I was buying with sealant. She was holding some paint samples. We locked eyes near the lighting aisle. She looked different, smaller, tired. "Hey," she said gently. "Hey, can we talk?" I paused, then gave a small nod. We sat on a bench near the exit. Her hands were clasped tightly in her lap. "I want to say I'm sorry," she began. "Not the kind of sorry you say to smooth things over. I mean it." I didn't speak, just listened. I wasn't fair to you, she continued. You were good to me, better than I deserved. I was stupid. I was bored. I wanted attention. Damon, he was just a distraction. I thought I could clean it all up before it caught up to me. You gambled, I said, and you lost. She nodded. I know. I deserved it. A long silence stretched between us. I got a job offer in Phoenix, she said. I'm moving next week, starting fresh. Good, I said. A clean slate. She stood, then paused. For what it's worth, I did love you, in my way. I know, I replied. That was the problem. We didn't hug. No handshake. She walked out with her paint swatches, and I didn't look back. That night, I sat on my balcony. No ringing phone. No fake apologies. No lies. Just a quiet drink and the sky changing color. And finally, peace. Not because she was gone, but because I was free.